Jesse, right now you have 4 wins under your belt. You've got $20,000 in your pocket. You're fighting for the 5 grand. But being that this is your 5th competition, if you win, you will also receive that bonus of $10,000. Do you want to pick the weapon or do you want to pick the forge welding technique?
I want the weapon.
All right. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking the pair of Pugio daggers.
Holy cow, what a bold choice.
The Pugio was a popular sidearm in 2nd and 3rd century Rome. Gladiators were known to battle with 2 Pugio, 1 in each hand. These close-quarter combat weapons featured a wide, leaf-shaped blade to inflict deep, lethal wounds upon an enemy, both on the battlefield and inside the walls of the Colosseum. However, the Pugio is most well-known as the weapon used to murder Julius Caesar.
John, you've got a choice to make. What forge welding technique do you want to use to build your daggers?
Let's go with canister, and we're gonna have to use some bicycle chain in it.
Bicycle chain in canister Damascus. All right, very, very tall order on the plate today, so good luck. Stay sharp. Your time starts now.
Because this is my 5th battle, I'm definitely a little bit tired. I've hit that bottom plateau in terms of energy, and the only way I can go is up. I used to forge out chef's knives at home in batches of 2 or 3, so this is a pretty comfortable zone for me. I think my canister is up to temperature now. I think it's the perfect time to bring them over to the squaring dies and start setting those welds. Right now, I have them all forged to shape, fit to dimension. Just want to get them ready for heat treat now. It's time for Le Quench. So I decided to do 1 at a time.
Oh, we got a quench.
The temperature of my first blade looked perfect. Now it's time to put blade 2 in the fire.
All right, Jesse's got 2 blades quenched.
It went perfectly. There were no warps in either blade. It's time to grind these blades to final dimension. I slap on a fresh 36 grit and just start going ham. But there's still a few things that I need to do in this round, include finish shaping the handle and then sharpening it. I leave myself a lot of time to sharpen these blades because I don't want to run out of time and have 1 edge unsharpened.
So the idea that I've got is that I'm gonna forge the 2 knives out of 1 billet, and I'm gonna stretch out the tang in the middle, and then I'll cut those in 2. So after I've got them ground, now it's time to heat treat. Out of the oil, it looks good. I think I've got what I want. That's gonna work. And then I go to the grinder. That's not great. The second blade, I notice a T-lamp on the edge. I am concerned that another could show up while I grind, but I think I've still got enough width, and so now I'm just gonna work that out. I now have to assemble these 2 handles. It is going to be a big challenge all the way around. I know I have to find a handle because the clock marches on. Everything seems to be just right, but I glance and I'm seeing I've used up better than an hour, so I know I've got to keep moving on. It's a very complex handle. I know that I have a lot of moving parts in this. I know I'm going to have to make sure everything fits properly with it.
What John's doing is a great idea, but it's very, very time consuming.
It's not an easy process, but I do get them inset some. After I get the pommel glued on, then it's to the grinder. It looks like a potato on a stick. It doesn't look great, and I need to get this shaped into something that is functional.
What John's got going on his handle, it kind of almost looks like a dog chew bone.
I still need to sharpen the blade. I get it etched. I'm racing the clock right now, and I don't have time to make mistakes today.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, turn off your machines, put down your tools. This battle is over.
Bladesmiths, welcome to our strength test. The armor, stab, and slash. Jesse, you're up first. You ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
I know you love going first.
Yep.
All right, Jesse, you survived. Good job. Your blades look great. I like the symmetry on these. I mean, they look like a matched pair. Everything's tight, everything's smooth. Your edges are still good. You do have a few flat spots, but there's not enough there where I can catch a nail on it. The biggest issue I have is the handles. They have no grip to them whatsoever. Enough so one of the chops, I actually caught a knuckle because the knuckle slipped up. Some contouring would have made it a lot easier to hold on to him. But otherwise, great job.
Thank you.
It's always fun being the second guy, right, John?
Why not?
You ready to go?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do it. All right, John, you survived. Gotta be happy about that. You got some glinting on the edges, nothing I'm really catching on. The biggest problem I have, the contouring you have on there is basically the exact opposite of what I said about Jesse's. They're not sliding anywhere, but they're not comfortable at all. But overall, they held together, nothing came loose, edges survived. Good job.
Gladiators of the Forge. This is the sharpness test, the banner slice. Jesse, up first. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. All right, Jesse, let's talk about your matching Pugio daggers here. That's a beautiful match set. They're quite identical, very close to that. Now your edge is cut nicely. And overall, your weapon, you'll cut. John, your turn, so you ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this. All right, John, let's talk about your Pugio daggers here. Your edges are sharp. It's just that it's got a grind here that's not razor sharp. So when cutting with this, there are some areas in this where it just got snagged with the blade, and it does rip a little bit. But overall, sir, your Pugio daggers, you'll cut.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, after 8 hours of furious battle where you guys built your Pugio daggers out of bicycle chain canister Damascus, it is coming down to a final decision. Only one of you can come out of here on top with the title of Gladiator of the Forge. Jesse, if you win, that will be your 5th win, and you will have $35,000 in your pocket. Now, John, if you win, you'll stop his winning streak, get your first Gladiator of the Forge title, a check for $5,000, and the opportunity to go forward into the next battle. Our judges have discussed your blades, and they made a final decision. Today's Gladiator of the Forge is... Jesse, you have done it again. That is 5 total wins. John, you brought us a good pair of blades, but unfortunately, they didn't come out on top, and Jay's going to tell you why.
John, you did a great job out there. You should definitely be proud of yourself. We sure as heck enjoyed watching you work. But at the end of the day, the inner grinds on your Pugio daggers weren't as sharp as your competitors, as we saw during the sharpness test. And you had a great idea for the handle, but it kind of went south, so that's why we're sending you home.
John, there's no question you're talented. I know you had your competitor here worried for a little bit. Unfortunately, you didn't come out on top today. At this point, I'm going to have to ask you to please step off the forge floor.
This is just one more learning experience. Take your education and move to the next thing.
Jesse, you are a 5-time champion. You got another check for $5 grand and a bonus of $10,000. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So right now, I got to ask again, do you have enough energy to go back in the forge and fight out another battle?
Put me in, coach.
I love it. All right, man.
I have 5 titles. I'm not ready to give up this seat anytime soon.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the forge. Eric, it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Well, Jesse, you've tallied up a total of $40,000. And if you win out, you stand a chance at taking home $50,000. But, Eric, if you came out on top, that's your first Gladiator of the Forge win, and you'll get a $5,000 check. And we'll ask if you want to come join us in the final battle of this competition series. you're gonna be building this. The Acinaces.
The Acinaces traces its origin back to the first millennium BC, all across the Mediterranean region. This deadly double-edged dagger was used by Roman gladiators in pairs, allowing them to deliver quick slashes and deadly strikes upon opponents inside the walls of the Colosseum. This weapon was so fierce, it was even believed to have been wielded by Mithras, the Persian god of the sun.
Now, along with the weapon, we have also chosen the forge welding technique that we want you both to use to build your blades. Now, if you look in the pantry, you'll see we have stacks of 1095 and 15N20 high carbon steel bars. We want you to take that steel and turn it into at least a 100-layer twisted Damascus billet from which you will make your blades. So work hard, stay sharp. Your time starts now.
I always have the tendency to pick too much material at the beginning. So I set 4 layers off to the side. That leaves me with 20 layers, which means I have to cut and restack 5 pieces to get 100 layers. So now that my billet is drawn out, come on, I need to get this thing cut into 5 pieces.
Jesse's not a big guy, so I wonder how difficult it's gonna be for him to actually twist this hot steel.
Okay, let's see how well this works.
Step on a plate, stand on those. You're helping to anchor it, and you got better leverage.
Good enough for me. I already have my blade mostly forged to shape, and I get ready for the quench. If this quench fails, it could send me home and end my win streak.
Here we go.
There we
Jesse
go.
is now in the oil.
That's great.
Went perfectly. The blade looks great. There's no cracks. I heard no pings. Things have been going great in this round so far. So now I need to make an anthropomorphic handle. So I grabbed some mild steel. It'll be a lot lighter in the end rather than brass. Okay. My blade looks menacing. It looks terrifyingly sharp. The grind lines are pretty much perfect. And then my handle is just a person. It's kind of great.
I'm going to use 22 pieces, draw it out, split it into 5 pieces, restack it and draw it again. That'll put me at 110 layers. I'm scared that once I start twisting, I'm just gonna see layers start pulling apart. If this fails, there's no way I'm gonna come back to win this challenge.
Oh yeah!
Everything on my steel looks good. It's time to throw it in the oil.
Oh, there you go.
All right, we've got 2 quench blades.
Colors in that blade look pretty good when you put it in the oil.
I got a good solid blade here. Some days I even amaze myself.
My sword has gotten a lot lighter, and I want to make sure I leave that tang a little on the heavy side and bring that balance back a little closer to the handle. Now it's time to get this handle glued up.
Big little man.
The rest of the time I have left is devoted to sharpening this blade. I couldn't be happier with the way this blade's turning out.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, put down your tools. This round is over.
Bladesmiths, welcome to our strength test. Today we have the Roman throne chop. And since you didn't get a chance to pick the technique or the weapon, you get to choose who goes first.
What?
I'll take it.
All right, Eric, you want to go first? Let's do it, bud. All right, Eric, I gotta say, good job, man. All right, first of all, there's no deflection, deformation. It came out nice. Did a good job. If we could etch this thing for like another 2 hours, this thing would be amazing looking. But the one complaint I have is there is a ton of weight on here. Controlling that during chops, it rolled over on me a couple times. Other than that, good job.
Thank you.
All right, Jesse, you're up. You ready to go?
No.
Well, we're gonna do it anyway.
I can tell that the purpose of this chair is to destroy blades. It's been such a long road, but this could be the beginning of the end. I may not be here for the next battle.
All right, Jesse, nice job. It's nice and light. You did a good job on the throne. The edge is fine. Everything's still tight and true. Good job.
Thank you.
Gladiators of the Forge. This is it. This is the sharpness test. I'm gonna take your weapons and try to cut through these ropes. Eric, you're first. You ready for this?
Let's do it, Doug.
All right, let's do it.
Damn.
Better.
All right, Eric, let's talk about your sword here. You have a sharp edge, but there is a weight to your weapon that makes it hard to hold on to. It did cut most of the ropes, but overall, you will cut. Jesse, your turn. You ready?
Sure.
All right, let's do it. All right, Jesse, let's talk about your weapon here. First up, your edge cut most of the rope except for the last one, but I cut a different angle, so I'll call that on me. But it is sharp. What I love about this is the balance and weight you have on your weapon. Overall, you will cut.
Now, guys, both of your blades performed extremely well during our test, which makes for a very difficult decision for our judges. Because now they have to decide which one of you is taking home that $5,000 check and the title of Gladiator of the Forge. Jesse, if you win, that's 7 total wins and $45,000 in your pocket. Eric, if you came out on top, that's your first Gladiator of the Forge win in a redemption round, and you'll get a $5,000 check. And we'll ask if you want to come join us in the final battle of this competition series. Our judges did make a final decision. Gentlemen, the Gladiator of the Forge today is... Jesse, congratulations, you did it again, man. Eric, it's been an honor to watch you work, but unfortunately your blade did not make the cut by the smallest of margins, and Jay's gonna tell you why.
It basically just came down to weight. There was so much weight in that handle, it made it harder to control, and that's the reason we're sending you home.
I get it. I get it. At least I made you guys work for it this time.
Jesse, that is 7 battles and 7 victories. You just won another check for $5,000. Well done. You now have $45,000 in your pocket, and you are 7 titles in with a chance for 1 more if you have enough in you to go back in the Forge and battle again. What do you say?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I can see the finish line. Why not keep going? What just happened? I'm somehow the 7-time Gladiator of the Forge.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations again. We can't wait to see you battle it out in the final battle. Well done, man.
I keep on saying that this battle is closer than my previous battle. I can't imagine a scenario in which it'll be closer for the next battle. I never expected to be fighting for the last $5 grand to $50 grand, but I'm going to keep my place on the throne.